Hi, you're listening to the Daydreams Show, a queer arts radio hour from Wending Circles. Your hosts today are Nell and Hannah. We're discussing three things: why we made the Daydream Show, the history of the mini projects of Wending Circles like the show, our live Zoom events, and the literary arts magazine Daylights, and also why this work matters and why we stay in this community. So to start, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Nell. I use they pronouns and I go by Choco Femme online. And today I'm joined by my good friend, Hannah. Thanks so much for being here today, Hannah.
Hi, thank you. I'm excited.
I'm so excited. This has been a long time coming, as we say. And yeah, we just want to talk about like what we're doing here, why we did it, and a little bit of our background. So, to start, this is the Daydream Show, a place for us to put our daydreams, a place for us to gather, a place for us to document our history in real time as it's happening, because that is what we're doing here is we are witnessing history and it's unfolding so quickly. We wanted a way to document it in real audio time as a, yeah, kind of like living document as it will be a weekly radio hour. So yeah, that's a little bit about daydreams. Is there anything you want to add about the Daydream Show, Hannah?
Well, my goal in an eventual sense is to have like a radio station that hopefully will one day host a daydream show.
Yes, this is
So
the
this is
dream.
our step towards that.
And that's like really, yeah, this is just like an expansion of so many of the projects that we are working on. We are a queer arts radio hour right now, but in the rest of the projects that we work on is queer arts, whether it's film or music, like Hannah is going to be our DJ someday. But we also study queer poetry, but a lot of what we do comes back to music because that is how we met way, way, way back in the day. Do you want to
4 years,
share that, Hannah? What's that?
just 4 years ago now is crazy to me.
I know. That is really wild. That is really true. So yeah,
Um,
we met 4 years ago.
2022, I don't know what month even. Spring?
I think it was before that. In the fall of 2021 was when the original group started.
Yeah, I think I joined maybe early 2022
Oh, okay, okay.
or
Yeah,
maybe late 2021, but I'm not positive.
I love this so much. This is like truly to me, like the heart of my R online Gaylor community because before this, I lived somewhere where I didn't have internet. Like I just lived in a really rural area. And so like being back in a place that had the internet and was like, I need to find gay people. Red TV came out and it was so gay. I was like, surely my in real life community like needs to be saved from my rambling. Like, let me find the people. And that is when I found the group that we like originally joined, which was like an online group of
Yeah, the
Zoom events.
that I
Yeah,
ended
yeah.
up doing is honestly that I like a lot of my friends had moved away and like my all the people my roommate brought around were like men, like gay men. And it was just,
Mm,
like I just got to this place where I was like, I need friends that are not men. Like I
yes.
need to have more women around, more gay women around. Like I just cannot be around all these men all the time. And I was also getting really into Gaylor because like even though I was always aware of it, like folklore kind of made me passionate about it. And so those two,
Yes.
I was like, well, I should just befriend all the Gaylors then. And then I did.
Yes. Okay, so we like found each other online. I went to Reddit. That's how I found the group of people who originally formed a group called Gaylor Group and quickly like started hosting monthly meetings of Gaylors. And truly like that has taken on so many iterations in between the fall of 2021 and what we're doing now in Wending Circles. But
Such a long winding road.
Such a long winding road. I think
Wending.
the quickest thing to say is that like that monthly group quickly realized that we wanted a more formalized place to study this art in intentional and rigorous and academic ways. And that was when, in the beginning of 2022, we started to say, hey, we should have a conference, like a summit of
Mhm.
Gaylors to study this. And that's when the formation of the original Gaylor Fest began,
Yeah,
which
and we had
was
first game
incredible.
on the folklore second anniversary, I believe, in
Yes,
2022. Yeah, that was very special.
it was. It was like it was like a meeting of the minds moment. Like, it was like, oh my gosh, these are all these people who are giving dissertations.
Right, doing brilliant research and analysis.
Truly, it was like all of the best like TikToks, but it was like an hour long and it was all at once. It was really special. And yeah, we that like online conference continued. We like have done it another year and then have like taken a hiatus and wanted to figure out a way to like not have just necessarily like an annual conference, but a way to like incorporate this like deeper into our lives, which is kind of what became what we're doing now.
Yeah, and also to just like stay connected with everyone. Um,
Truly, yes.
to have this community where we can talk about this stuff.
Yeah. And that's that second year, the Gaylor Fest, we changed the name actually to Gaylor Fest because things had already kind of expanded from there. It was not just like a Gaylor community. It was so much more, which is truly where, we are today as a community. It's like we study art in so many different facets. And yeah, it's expanded into becoming film experts now. Sometimes we are in film club and it's like, wow, there's really not a queer analysis of this film somewhere when it's clearly a queer film. Like, huh.
Right.
Well, I guess we better publish a theory on this because um
Nobody else is
yeah,
doing it. Yeah.
no one else is doing it. And that's just been such a fun place, like that's really so much of like why I love being in this community is it's people who inspire me to like go down the rabbit holes.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, that's what I think what I was saying earlier is it's nice to be with other people who have similar ways of thinking that I do, like similar analytical minds that want to find every possible connection and put things together
Mm,
and solve mysteries, or at least try to, and like enjoy the thrill of that in like a slow way that's not like we have to know all the answers right now, but let's just muse about them.
yes, that's really a reason why one of the mottos of Wending Circles is we take the long way home
Exactly.
because we're not in a rush. We're here to like dive deeply into the curriculum in a way that yeah, you just can't do if you're like moving at the rate of capitalism if we're going to be real about it.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that to me is important about this work and like
Mhm.
these conversations that we have is just the idea that like even if something is popular, it can still be like worthy of artistic analysis and criticism. And I think we have this
Yeah.
misconception, at least in the United States, I don't know about the rest of the world, where like if something is pop culture, if it's like a pop star or something
Mm,
that doesn't necessarily seem like art to the masses, it sort of doesn't qualify for artistic analysis or critique.
exactly.
And I like
Yep.
to question that. Why? Why would art be less worthy of analysis because it's popular?
I would argue in some ways popular culture is the single most defining thing of
Exactly.
of art happening at any given time. And
Yeah,
that
I
by
mean,
studying it, mm,
it's a mirror, to like what's popular.
exactly, exactly.
And that's what I learned about romantic comedies. Like one of my first college classes ever, which it's like it stuck with
Mhm.
me to this day, is my favorite class, was American Romantic Comedy. And one of the things that we learned about rom-coms is like how much they are portals to the time period in which they were made. And they're
Ooh.
another piece of or genre category of art that is like overlooked often, as like chick flicks or something like that.
Hmm.
But it's another art form that carries so much truth and so much reflection of like what culture is like at that time.
Right. It's like a constant by which to view change.
Yeah.
I love that. That's so beautiful. Yeah, thinking about like snapshots of culture throughout time and how much like as much as we are like studying queer art and like looking at that as like a mirror to culture, like truly like we were saying earlier, like so much of why I want to like continue to talk about queer arts and be in this community is because of what it means to us as a community. You know, like we started because we were like, oh, I think there's like this song is gay, you know? And
Yeah.
like years later, we have like arrived at a space that is so affirming of who we are as individuals, which is not to say that didn't happen then, because truly at my very first Gaylor group meeting in 2021, I was kind of like, okay, I'm like on a Zoom with strangers on the internet. How's this gonna go? And one of the hosts was like, we're open to everyone, but this is a queer-centered space. So, if you're not queer, you can be here, but remember to center the queer narrative. And this person, we're doing introductions, and she goes, I'm not queer, I'm just glad to be here. Thank you. 20 minutes later, we're, getting into, more talking about things. And she goes, you know what? Actually, I lied when I introduced myself earlier because I've never said this out loud, but like I am queer and I can't believe that like an online space has like allowed me to say that out loud. But like, thank you for like letting me not lie to strangers anymore because,
Mhm.
you know, and it was like, oh my God, like we're a place where people can figure out who they are and identify themselves publicly and feel safe to do that for the first time. Like I would ne I would never walk away from that, and I haven't. And that has been such a like gift. And the like most beautiful thing about it is that as much as like I was like, oh, I like want to like continue to make sure that these spaces exist for other people. But in doing so, like I also just like have seen myself be able to be myself in these spaces. Like for example, before I was involved in Gaylor group, I had been part of a like autism support group and it was awesome. But then most of the people that I meet here are neurodivergent in some way. And it's like, yes, the way that my brain sees the world is affirmed and we share a special interest. Let's hang out. Let me figure
Absolutely.
out more things about myself together.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just makes me think too, like we've now branched into like workshops too, Like we had a like a self-assessment quiz at the last workshop last weekend, which you led, Hannah, which was incredible. And it was like, wow, we were learning about ourselves like informally just by being in community with one another, but also like more formally through like these educational spaces.
Yeah. I think if you're someone who deeply explores any topic, deeply exploring self is like it's like your life's work, I think. If not
Mm.
the kind of brain that wants to go very deep with everything, but for those of us who do, going deep into the self and discovering yourself is like just a never-ending mission of like devotion to yourself. And I
Oh,
think it's really important.
I love that. It makes me think about Mary Oliver talking about like paying attention is like an act
Exactly.
of devotion, Like what an honor and gift to like pay attention, especially as like a neurodivergent person. Sometimes it's really hard to like know what's happening, to be devoted internally.
Absolutely. So that's why I think so many of us find like so much comfort in analysis is because we've always done it because we have to figure out what's going on,
Mm.
what's different with between us and the world, how to survive in this world. So we've always had to deeply analyze.
Takes one to know one, you know?
Hmm.
That's so true. I love that. What a gift to be able to like see ourselves mirrored in the art and each other.
Hmm. It's so
And
interesting.
then what's up?
I was just gonna say, like, you know how we talk about like how when we were little kids, like we found all the gay people, like before any of us knew we were like neurodivergent or gay, like a lot of
Yeah,
times we didn't have any idea about that stuff. And we found each other anyway.
exactly.
And I that's how I feel about Taylor sometimes, because I like saw something in her from the age of like 10 that I still see
Right,
today and feel from her.
right.
Yeah.
It really does make me think about that part of the Opalite music video where the photographer is like, I want to be your friend. And it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I like see there's something there, you know? There's some
Yeah. What I
thing.
took from that is like it's only through expressing yourself fully that you can find the people that are meant for you. And like
Hmm.
when they were with their other partners, they were so caught up in that, they're rocking their cactus that they
Yeah,
couldn't be themselves. And so
totally.
people didn't want to be around them. And then they're both like being so expressive and free and open that the right friends find them.
And I think that's so true. Like we've been talking about this idea of like, when you are yourself and vulnerable in any space, there's gonna be people who are like, oh, what? That's not for me. But what is
And
equally true is that yeah, there's gonna be people
yeah.
who are like, oh my gosh, this is the spot.
Yeah. And if they don't get it, then they're not your people, you know?
Yeah.
And at least you have that
So,
information before you like get invested in them.
which is to say, shout out to all of the people who have helped make Gaylor spaces throughout space and time, who have like influences to the people in the golden era of Hollywood who had sewing circles, which was
Mhm.
a huge influence on Wending Circles, to the salons in Gay Paris. All of these spaces like have made this space, and also like appreciation to all of the people who co-create this space because this is like a collective. And so this is your invitation. If you like have things that you want to like see on a radio show, let us know what it is. We may do it, we may not. Who knows? But we're all in the we're all in the business of experimenting with art. So welcome to the experiment. Thanks for being here. And yeah, we'll be here on Wednesdays at 11:30 Pacific, which is 2:30 Eastern, or sometime
Mhm.
around there.
Yep. Sometime around there.
If you don't know, we kind of mentioned we do also have live events on Zoom, and there's different kind of series that we can be part of. There's like film club where we like watch films and we talk about them. But one thing we wanted to talk about today before we say goodbye is that we have an event for our literary arts magazine that we published last winter solstice. And the whole thing with like all of the different projects of Wending Circles is like, how can we just like be a beam of light into everyone's life? Like this is a beam of light in my life, and like I want to send it out to you. So we made this lit mag as like a physical, tangible thing that you could like hold and read queer arts with no AI and no ads, just like pure like queer articles and art and poems. And if you want to know more about the lit mag, do you want to talk about the event we're having, Hannah?
Um, I don't know that much about the agenda for the event, so maybe you should take that part, but I would like to at least shout out that we will be soon accepting submissions for our summer edition of Daylight. So if you come to the event, we can talk about that. You can see kind of what kind of things are in the current edition, think about what you might like to contribute. Yeah, Nell, you want to talk a little bit more about the event?
Yeah, the event is Sunday, the 22nd of February. It is part of our arts forum, which meets every Sunday from 11 to 1 Pacific. So 2 hours. That would be 2 to 4. Is that right, Hannah? Eastern? Doing math live.
Yes.
So yeah, if you want to know more about the Queer Arts magazine Daylights, we're going to be talking a little bit about the winter magazine, which is still available for purchase. We have a few copies left, and also talking about the equinox or the solstice, the summer solstice edition. So yeah, if you want to be involved in that, either participate or just like learn about the magazine. We're going to have some of the authors of the different articles talking about their articles. So if you have questions about things that you read, you can like have a Q&A session, some of the things we're going to do. And yeah, also one of the artists will talk about their art. So that's what we're doing next Sunday. If you want more information about our events, everything is at wendingcircles.com and you can sign up for events there. And yeah, would love to see you.
Yeah,
Anything else you want to add, Hannah?
you can get a copy of the magazine at www.daylightsmag.com. Apparently,
That's true.
the www is very important.
We're on the World Wide Web here,
You gotta
we take the
remember.
long way home.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that's all I have.
Well, thanks everyone for joining our first little introduction of why the Daydream Show is here. And we hope that you continue to join us and talk about queer arts with us because that's what it's all about. We love being gay, we love art, and we love doing it all together.
Thanks, Nell.
Thanks, Hannah. All
Bye.
right. Bye, y'all.
Daydream.